You know what's strange? We spend our whole lives touching money, day in and day out, without giving it a second thought. We grab it, we count it, we hand it over, we stuff it in our wallets. And yet most of us treat these small, everyday moments like they are completely meaningless, just background noise in a busy day. But what if I told you that every single time your fingers make contact with cash, you're either programming abundance into your life or pushing it away? What if the secret to multiplying your wealth isn't about working harder or finding some complicated investment strategy, but simply about what you say and think in those brief, powerful moments when money is literally in your hands? Now, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again. Another person telling me to just think positive thoughts and magically money will appear. But stay with me here, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just wishful thinking. It's about understanding a basic law of the universe that successful people have been using for centuries, often without even realizing it. And before you click away thinking this is going to be another one of those marathon videos that takes 2 hours to make a single point, let me tell you something. I keep these videos short, powerful, and straight to the point because your time is valuable. I'm not here to ramble on and on about the same idea in circles. I'm here to give you real, actionable wisdom that you can use right away. That's what this channel is about. No fluff, no filler, just pure transformational content that actually makes a difference in your life. So if you appreciate that approach, you're in the right place. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have money flow to them effortlessly, while others work themselves to exhaustion and still struggle? Have you ever looked at your bank account and felt that sinking feeling in your stomach? That sense of never having enough, no matter how hard you try? Maybe you've caught yourself saying things like, "I can't afford that," or "money doesn't grow on trees," or "I'm just not good with money." And every time you say these things, especially when you are handling money, you are actually reinforcing the very poverty you're trying to escape. I see you. I understand that struggle because it's real and it's exhausting. Here's what's really happening, and this is where most people get it completely wrong. Your subconscious mind is like the most powerful computer ever built, quietly running in the background. And it's running programs all day long based on what you tell it, moment after moment, without you even noticing. Now, your subconscious doesn't understand sarcasm, jokes, or temporary moods, and it doesn't stop to question your intentions. It simply takes everything you say and think as a direct command, and it acts on that command without hesitation. So when you're standing at the checkout counter, handing over your hard-earned money while thinking, "There goes my hard-earned cash," or "I'm broke again," or even just sighing to yourself in frustration, your subconscious mind hears every bit of that as a clear instruction. It says, "Okay, you want to be broke. Let me make sure that happens for you." The universe responds to your words and thoughts with total, unwavering precision, almost like a mirror that never lies. It's not punishing you, and it's not rewarding you either. It's simply reflecting back to you exactly and faithfully whatever you're claiming as your reality. This isn't mystical nonsense dressed up to sound impressive. Think about it scientifically for a moment, stripping away all the spiritual language. Everything in existence is energy vibrating at different frequencies, from the smallest atom to the largest star. Money is energy. You are energy. And the words you speak carry their own vibrational frequency, whether you realize it or not. When you speak words of lack, poverty, and limitation. While touching money, you're literally creating a vibrational pattern that repels abundance. But when you speak words of gratitude, increase, and prosperity while handling money, you create a magnetic force that draws more money to you. Now, let me give you a simple framework that will help you understand this better. One that you can use to check in with yourself at any moment. There are 3 levels of money. Consciousness. And most people move between them without even realizing it. The first level is poverty consciousness. And this is where most people quietly live, day after day, without even naming it. They see money as scarce, hard to get, and far too easy to lose. Every transaction feels like a small loss, a little piece of themselves given away. Paying bills feels like punishment rather than simply an exchange. At this level, you're stuck in a fairly constant state of fear and anxiety around money, even when things seem okay on the surface. The second level is survival consciousness. You have enough to get by, but you're always worried about the future. You're playing not to lose rather than playing to win. You can pay your bills, but there's not much left over, and you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. The third level is prosperity consciousness. At this level, you understand that money is constantly flowing and circulating. You see yourself as a channel through which money flows easily and naturally. You give freely and receive freely. You know that there's more than enough for everyone, and you claim your share without guilt or apology. Here's the beautiful truth that changes everything. You can shift from poverty consciousness to prosperity consciousness instantly. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is through the words you speak when you touch money. Because that moment when money is in your hands is like a magic portal. It's when your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the universe are all paying attention to your money story. What you say in that moment becomes a command to the universe. Let me tell you about someone I once knew who completely transformed her financial life using this exact principle. She was drowning, in debt, working multiple jobs just to stay afloat, and felt like she was stuck on a hamster wheel going absolutely nowhere. Then, almost by accident, she learned about the power of speaking prosperity into her finances. She started saying specific words every single time she touched money, whether she was receiving it or giving it away, treating each moment as sacred rather than routine. Within 6 months, she had paid off half her debt, received an unexpected inheritance she hadn't even known was coming, and landed a job that paid twice what she was making before. Now, you might say that's just coincidence, but I've watched this exact pattern repeat itself over and over again in different lives. The universe doesn't really do coincidences. It does correspondence. So let's get practical, because I don't want to leave you with just theory. I'm going to give you the exact words to say out loud or even silently in your head whenever you touch money. And I want you to truly understand why these specific words work, not just repeat them like a robot. These aren't magic spells, and there's nothing mysterious about them. They are simple statements of truth that align your consciousness with the natural flow of abundance. They quietly reprogram your subconscious mind, one repetition at a time, and send a clear, unmistakable signal to the universe about what you're claiming as your reality. First, when you receive money in any form, whether it's your paycheck, a gift, finding a coin on the street, getting change from a purchase, or seeing money in your bank account, say this: money flows to me easily and constantly from expected and unexpected sources. Now, why does this work? Because you're making a declaration that money comes to you easily. You're not saying you have to struggle for it. You're saying it flows, which implies constant movement and circulation. And by adding expected and unexpected sources, you're opening yourself up to endless channels of abundance, not just your job. Here's another powerful statement to use when receiving money. I am a money magnet, and I attract prosperity in every area of my life. This statement does something crucial. It quietly identifies you as someone who naturally attracts money, rather than someone forever chasing after it. You're not chasing it. You're not begging for it. You're magnetic to it, the way a magnet pulls in iron filings without any effort at all. It can't help but come to you. And by adding that, prosperity shows up in every single area of your life. You're not limiting abundance to just your bank account. You're inviting it into your health, your relationships, your opportunities, your everyday happiness, everything. Now, here's where most people mess this up, and honestly, it's the reason they stay broke year after year. When you give money away, whether you're paying bills, buying groceries, investing in something, giving to charity, or lending money to a friend, you absolutely must speak words of prosperity over that transaction, no matter how big or small it is. This is critical, and it's a step most people skip completely without even realizing what it's costing them. Most people hand over money while thinking or saying things like, I hate paying bills, or this is so expensive, or I can't believe I have to spend this much. And then they wonder why money stops coming to them. Here's what you say instead. When you give money, I bless this money as it leaves my hands. It circulates and multiplies and returns to me increased. Do you see the real power hidden in this small shift? You're not mourning the loss of that money as it leaves your hands. You're blessing it instead. You're sending it out into the world with good energy, knowing full well that it's going to do good things wherever it lands. And because the universe is built on circulation, not on hoarding, you're declaring out loud that it will return to you multiplied. It's exactly like planting a seed in the ground. You don't cry or grieve when you put a seed into the soil. You celebrate quietly because you already know that seed is going to produce a full harvest in time. Another powerful statement when paying for something is this: I give freely and receive freely. There is always more than enough. This statement is profound because it establishes you as someone who operates from abundance, not lack. You're not hoarding. You're not clutching. You're freely giving because you know there's an endless supply. The universe loves a generous giver and will always make sure a generous giver has something to give. Here's a particularly powerful one to use for when you're paying bills. I am grateful for the services I receive, and I pay joyfully knowing my supply is unlimited. Most people dread paying bills and put it off as long as possible. But bills actually represent services you've already enjoyed and benefited from. Your electricity bill means you've had light and power. Your rent or mortgage payment means you've had a roof over your head and a safe place to sleep. When you pay with gratitude instead of resentment, you keep the flow of abundance open and moving freely. And when you declare that your supply is unlimited, you're telling your subconscious mind that paying this bill doesn't diminish you, because there's always more coming. Now, let me give you a simple daily practice that will speed up this entire process. Start carrying a little bit of cash with you, even a small amount. Even if you usually use cards or tap to pay, I want you to physically handle money every single day, without exception. Take it out of your wallet, touch it, feel it in your fingers, and as you do, speak these words of prosperity over it, slowly and with real intention. Thank it for being in your life. Bless it. Tell it to multiply. This daily practice reprograms your subconscious mind at a deep level. Your brain starts associating money with good feelings, gratitude, and abundance instead of stress, fear, and lack. Here's another practice that sounds a little silly, but is incredibly powerful. When you see money, even if it's not yours, bless it. When you see someone else paying for something, silently bless their money and declare that there's enough for everyone. When you see an expensive car or home, instead of feeling jealous or saying you could never afford that, say, "That's wonderful. There's plenty for me too." This simple practice slowly removes jealousy and competition from your consciousness, one small moment at a time. Jealousy is one of the fastest ways to block your own abundance, even when you don't realize you're doing it. When you can genuinely and freely celebrate other people's prosperity without any bitterness hiding underneath, you open the door for your own. Let me address something important here. Some of you might be thinking, this sounds too simple. How can just saying some words change my bank account? And I get it. We've been conditioned to believe that money only comes through hard work, struggle, and sacrifice. But here's the truth. Your words are the most creative force in your life. The Bible says the universe was spoken into existence. In the beginning was the Word. Your life is being spoken into existence by you right now with every word you say. If you still don't believe your words carry real power, try this simple experiment for the next week and pay close attention to how it feels. Speak only negative words about your finances all week long. Complain about bills. Talk about how broke you are over and over. Focus on everything you can't afford. Watch closely and see what happens, both inside you and around you. Then, for the following week, do the exact opposite and speak only words of abundance, gratitude, and prosperity. Notice the difference in how you feel and how situations unfold. Your outer world will slowly begin to shift because you've already shifted your inner world first. Now, I want to give you a simple framework for using affirmations effectively, because there really is a right way and a wrong way to do this, and getting it wrong is why so many people give up on affirmations altogether. The wrong way, the way most people try first and then quit, is to stand in front of a mirror saying, "I am a millionaire," when you actually have $17 sitting in your bank account and your subconscious mind is loudly screaming back, "Liar." Your subconscious mind naturally rejects statements that feel too far away from your current lived reality. The right way, the way that actually works over time, is to use statements that your subconscious can quietly accept while still gently moving you in the direction of abundance. So instead of saying, "I am a millionaire," when you're not, say, "Money comes to me more easily every day," or "I am in the process of creating wealth," or "I am opening myself to greater and greater prosperity." These statements don't contradict your current reality, but they point you toward a better future. Your subconscious mind can accept them, and once it accepts them, it starts working to make them true. Let me give you another layer to this that most people completely miss. It's not just about the words you say out loud, repeated by rote. It's about the feeling underneath the words, the real emotion carrying them. You must say these statements with conviction, with feeling, with genuine faith behind them. If you're just mechanically repeating words without any emotion or belief, you're honestly wasting your time and breath. Emotion is the fuel that powers your words and gives them life. So when you say, "I am a money magnet," feel it in your body. Feel the excitement of attracting money. Feel the gratitude as if it's already happening. Your feeling nature, more than the words themselves, is what truly activates the law. Here's a powerful little technique I want you to try tonight, before you go to sleep, and every night after that if you can. Hold some money in your hands quietly in a moment of stillness. Even if it's just a single bill, look at it closely. Feel it between your fingers and say, "I am so grateful for this money. I bless it. I multiply it. As I sleep tonight, my subconscious mind is creating new channels for money to flow into my life." I wake up tomorrow with new ideas, new opportunities, and new ways to increase my wealth. Then put that money under your pillow or on your nightstand. Your subconscious mind is most receptive right now. Before sleep, you're programming it to work on creating wealth while you rest. Now let's talk about something that might make you a little uncomfortable to hear, but it's essential all the same. You need to change your entire relationship with spending money. Most of us have been taught since childhood that spending money is bad and saving is good. Full stop, no exceptions. But here's the truth underneath that belief. Money needs to circulate, just like blood needs to circulate through your body. If you hoard it out of fear, gripping it tightly, you are blocking the flow. The universe can only give you more if you're genuinely willing to let money move freely through you. This doesn't mean be reckless or irresponsible. It means spend with joy and confidence, knowing that more is coming. When you buy something you truly need or genuinely want, don't sit there feeling guilty about it. Afterward, celebrate it instead. Out loud if you can. Say, I love that I can afford this. Thank you, universe, for my abundance and for this moment. Here's something else that's absolutely crucial, and I want you to really hear this part. Stop talking about what you can't afford. In any context, even as a joke, every single time you say, I can't afford that, you're making a quiet declaration of poverty, and your subconscious mind is taking notes. Instead, train yourself to say, I choose not to purchase that right now. Or, that's not a priority for me at this time. Or even, I'm directing my money to something else. Do you feel the difference between these two approaches? One statement comes from powerlessness and lack. The other comes from choice and power. You're not poor. You're making strategic decisions about where your abundant resources go. Let me share something that completely transformed my own understanding of money. Something I wish someone had told me years earlier. Money is not the goal. Money is the servant. It's simply a tool, nothing more and nothing less. It's energy that allows you to do and be and have what you truly desire in this life. When you fully understand this, you stop worshiping money as if it were the point of everything, and you start directing it with clarity. Instead, you stop being afraid of not having enough, and you start being genuinely excited about what you can actually do with what you already have right now, today. You stop focusing on accumulation, and you start focusing on circulation. And paradoxically, when you make that shift, more money comes to you because you're no longer clutching and blocking the flow. Here's your action step, and I really want you to actually do it, not just nod along. I want you to do this today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. While the feeling of this video is still fresh, find some money. Go to your wallet, your purse, your pocket, wherever you keep money, and take it out right now. Hold it in your hands and really feel it there. Look at it closely and say out loud, with your own voice, I bless this money. I am grateful for this money. This money represents unlimited abundance flowing into my life. As I speak these words, I am opening channels for more money to come to me easily, quickly, and abundantly. Money loves me. Money flows to me. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. I am abundant. Say it with feeling. Say it with conviction. And notice how you feel after you say it. Then make a firm commitment to yourself, right here and now, that from this day forward, every single time you touch money, you will speak words of prosperity over it without fail. No more complaining about bills ever again. No more saying you're broke, even as a joke. No more worrying about not having enough day after day. Only words of gratitude, blessing, increase, and abundance. I promise you, if you do this consistently every day for 30 full days in a row, you will see changes in your financial life that will genuinely astound you. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, but I need practical advice too. I need a real budget. I need an actual financial plan. And yes, those things absolutely matter and are genuinely important. I'm not dismissing them at all. But here's what I've learned along this whole journey. You can have the best financial plan in the entire world, carefully laid out on paper. But if your consciousness underneath it all is still programmed for poverty, that plan simply won't work the way it should. You'll sabotage it without even meaning to or noticing you're doing it. You'll have unexpected emergencies pop up out of nowhere. Things will quietly fall apart at the worst possible moments. But when you first change your consciousness, when you first get your mind and your inner world right, then the practical tools start working almost like magic. The plan works, the budget works, the investments work, because you're no longer secretly fighting against yourself at every single turn. Think of it this way, and this image really helped me understand it clearly. If you're trying to drive a car to a destination, but you're pressing the gas pedal and the brake pedal at the exact same time, you're simply not going to get very far at all, no matter how hard you push. That's exactly what most people unknowingly do with money, day after day. They want more money, so they work hard, they save carefully, they invest wisely. That's pressing the gas. But at the very same time, they are speaking words of poverty, thinking thoughts of lack, feeling anxious and tense about money. That's pressing the brake. You're fighting against yourself the whole time, exhausting yourself for very little progress. When you finally align your words, thoughts, and feelings with prosperity, you take your foot off the brake at last, and suddenly you start moving forward rapidly, almost effortlessly. Let me give you one more powerful practice before we wrap up. Create what I call a prosperity jar, a simple little tool that makes abundance visible. Get a jar or a container, any one you like, and every time you receive money, even if you're just depositing it in the bank, like usual, put a small amount aside into your prosperity jar first. It could be $1, $5, whatever small amount you choose to set aside. And as you put it in the jar, say, "This is my seed money. It represents the unlimited abundance flowing into my life. This jar is filling up, just like my bank account is filling up." Watch your jar grow slowly, week after week, over time. Feel the quiet satisfaction of seeing physical, visible evidence of your increasing prosperity sitting right there in front of you. And when the jar is full, use that money for something that brings you joy, or invest it, or give some of it away. The simple act of watching money accumulate in a visible way reprograms your subconscious mind to expect accumulation in every area of your life. Here's the thing. The universe is unlimited. There is no real shortage of money anywhere. Money is just energy, and energy is infinite by nature. The only shortage that exists is in your thinking. When you change your thinking, you change your reality. And the fastest way to change your thinking is to change your speaking. Your words create your world. So create a world of abundance with your words, one sentence at a time. I want to be clear about something important here. This is not about greed. This is not about being materialistic. This is about claiming your rightful, natural claim to abundance. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and part of that experience is learning to master the material world around you. You cannot serve others from a place of poverty. You cannot be generous if you have nothing to give. Your abundance blesses everyone around you, whether you realize it or not. So don't feel guilty about wanting more. Don't apologize for desiring wealth. Claim it boldly, and use it wisely. Now here's what I want you to do right now, this very minute, while this is still fresh in your mind and heart. Drop a comment down below and tell me one specific thing you're going to change about how you talk about money starting today. Maybe you're going to stop saying you're broke once and for all. Maybe you're going to start blessing your bills every time you pay them, out loud if you can manage it. Maybe you're going to start carrying cash again and speak prosperity over it every single day without fail. Share it in the comments below, because when you declare something publicly in front of others, you're making a commitment that's far more powerful and binding than just thinking it quietly to yourself in your own head. Plus, your comment might genuinely inspire someone else scrolling through who really needs to hear it today, right when they need it most. And listen, if this video has genuinely opened your eyes to a new way of thinking about money, I need you to subscribe to this channel right now before you scroll away. Hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to keep bringing you more content exactly like this week after week. Short, powerful, life-changing content that actually makes a real difference in your everyday life. No 2-hour rambles, no unnecessary fluff, just pure wisdom that you can use immediately to transform your life starting today. And share this video with someone who really needs to hear this message right now. You know exactly who I mean. Someone who's struggling with money, who's always complaining about being broke, who genuinely needs to understand the quiet power of their own words. Send them this video today. You might just change their entire life without even realizing it. Remember always that you are not a victim of your circumstances. No matter how things look right now, you are a creator through and through. And the primary tool of creation, the one you carry with you every single day, is your word. Speak life, speak abundance, speak prosperity out loud whenever you can, and watch closely as the universe slowly rearranges itself to match your words, piece by piece. Your wealthy life is waiting for you patiently right now. It's right there, just on the other side of your willingness to change what you say when you touch money. So go touch some money right now, this very moment, and speak prosperity boldly into your life.